All right, I'm back. So this is my second video, and kind of getting my feet wet here. But you're gonna see throughout these posts that there'll be one in the morning. It'll be the word as I read it, and throughout the day, I'll get what I call spiritual nuggets or spiritual nugs, and for those who understand. And those are little pieces of spiritual nuggets that God gives me as I read throughout the day. I don't read once a day. I'll read 2 or 3 times a day. Not because I'm a holy roller or I'm better than. It's because I need to keep my head straight. So right now, as I was in First Timothy, this is a letter that Paul wrote to Timothy. Paul was encouraging Timothy. If you know anything about the word, First Timothy, Second Timothy, and Titus are called the pastoral epistles, the pastoral letters, and this is what a lot of pastors use as a guide on how to run the church, how to teach the church, how the gifts should be done in order, decently and in order. Paul sets these 3 letters straight for Timothy and Titus on how to begin the church and how to handle church affairs. I'm in chapter 1 this morning, and what really blessed me was Paul was encouraging Timothy on the beginning, the basics of how to begin the church. And First Timothy 1, verses 5 and 6 said, "Now the purpose of the commandment is love from a pure heart, from a good conscience, and from sincere faith." Verse 6, "From which some, having strayed, have turned aside to idle talk." And here's what really blessed me was, when you think about it, it's true. Idle talk is like it's gossip. Busybodies going house to house talking about other people. And the Bible tells us to not be a busybody. For the females to not be busybodies. For men to not be an idle talk. For Mexicans, chismes. Gossiping about others. We're to pray for one another. Pray. Okay, if you're gonna talk about somebody, it's out of encouragement or to pray, to send a prayer to them, to pray for, not send a prayer, to pray for them. Pray, not to pray on them. Prey, not to devour them with gossip and just talking about them and putting them down. You want to encourage one another. So Paul's telling Timothy here, that the purpose of this commandment is of love, a pure heart, and sincerity of faith. The second portion, he says, who some have strayed from. They turned aside to idle talk. And what I wanted to share here was that's very true. You'll know when people have strayed from love, when people have strayed from a pure heart or sincerity of faith. Evidence is this: idle talk, gossip. When people are gossiping about one another, when people are running their mouth about others, they've strayed from faith, from love, from purity. And it's evident because they're talking about others. Don't talk about other people. If you got a problem with somebody, confront them. Pray for them. Pray. Don't go behind their back and talk about them. And pray on them. The Bible says you reap what you sow. The street says what comes around goes around. We will reap that. Every seed we sow, we will reap. It'll bear fruit. Good or bad is up to us. So, again, I encourage you, choose wisdom over the world. God bless.